Straight Shootin LJA here at the Alexandra Park FC sponsorship launch, and I'm here with Mr. Ray Gerlach. And Ray, tell us a bit about your role within Alexandra Park FC and about the event as well.
I played at Ali Pali from 79 to 82, 83 and was first team skipper, and I've been a club member ever since, and come down on many occasions to see how the club's progressing, and generally trying to keep in touch with both ex-players but also what's going on at the moment.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about today's event. What is it that has brought everyone down here?
It's a guy called Phillippe Wick, a Swiss guy who came to Ali Pali in 79-80 when I was playing, and we hit it off, both on the field but also off the field, and we kept in touch as he moved around the world. We kept in touch through football, and went to various competitions to watch football, and our interest in football has been there all the time, and that's cemented our relationship really. But then earlier this year, when I was with Phillippe, he said, do you think Ali Pali would be interested in me sponsoring them? Because I had such a good time there, they made me so welcome. I'd like to give something back to it. I like the values of the club, and they made me so welcome when I was a young lad. Hence we approached the club, and they said yes, they would do, and we're here to launch that sponsorship today.
Oh, cool. That's really nice actually, because at the end of the day, people giving back to a club that are giving something to them. Tell us a little bit more about. Tell us a little bit more about Alexandra Park FC and what they stand for as a club.
Yeah, they're a truly amateur club, Southern Amateur League football, and they have all the ethos of amateur sport. They like to see the game played fairly but competitively. The players pay to play, which is a great thing in this day and age of £250,000 a week to play. Exactly. People wishing to play, to pay to play, and so that spirit and those that ethos is something that was here when I was here, and it's still here now. Yeah. And these guys that are out there today are still paying for the privilege to pay for the club, but they hold the club in high esteem, and those values are still prevalent, and I think go a long way to helping people in life, not only in sport but in life as well. But it's great that sport can still have that impact. Yeah,
no, definitely. I mean, sport having a huge impact, and kind of not just kind of being entertainment on a Saturday, but just being a kind of release and getting a bit of camaraderie back into the game, because obviously towards the top level it's a touch cynical where everyone's kind of out to get each other, but at the end of the day, it's nice to see that those values are still being reinforced. How big is today in the history of Alexandra Park FC?
As a day, I think it's probably up there as one of the biggest days in the club's history, simply because of the sponsorship deal. It's the first sponsorship deal the club has had, and secondly, the first team are playing in the Premiership of the Southern Amateur League for the first time in 50 years. So it's a double celebration. Jeez, yeah. So great stuff. It really is a big day in the club's history.
I hear that. Tell us a bit about 1414 and their connection to the club. I mean, how is the sponsorship working? Is it just kits? Is it more than that, or
no? Phillippe is owner of a sports clothing company, and he has sponsored the club, all 10 teams, for their entire playing kit, training tops and polo shirts, footballs, training bibs and that sort of stuff. So anything to do with the playing side, that's what they've sponsored. So it's worth a lot to the club in terms of the sort of income to an amateur club that relies on its subs and I suppose the bar. And as trained athletes, you can't afford to take too much out of the bar.
no, of course not. I want my beer after the game. Beer? Wait, I meant orange juice. But also, how important is it to Alexandra Park FC to be in the Southern Amateur League / Amateur Football Alliance? How important is that?
114 years of importance, because that's how many years the club has been involved in Southern Amateur League football, one of the oldest leagues in the country, and they were one of the founder members and are still going. So I think it's a testimony to both the structure of the club, the people that go into making these sort of clubs survive, and there are half a dozen individuals. I mean, I come back only periodically, but I still see some of those same old faces that have worked so hard to make sure that it exists for the majority. And when you're running 8 senior sides, and then something like 27 youth sides, that takes a lot of organising, and it's all volunteers. It's all done for free. There's not a paid individual on the books. It's all done through people's free time and goodwill, and that says an awful lot about it.
No, definitely. I mean, in regards, you mentioned the word survival, and one of the main questions I wanted to ask, especially with kind of 11-a-side football being in decline in recent years, and also with the fact that a lot of amateur clubs, old Latimarians, for instance, in the Southern Amateur League have had to fold recently. How important is it that we keep amateur league clubs such as Alexandra Park and other grassroots clubs alive in today's current climate? How important is that?
Well, if we think that there are 92 professional league clubs and 45,000 amateur clubs, I think that tells you where the pyramid strength lies. The strength of the pyramid is in the base. If you've only got half that amount playing at the grassroots level, your top level is not going to be as strong as it is. So the more that we get playing at amateur roots level, I believe the stronger the top of that pyramid will be, and that's vitally important. And we saw it this afternoon, actually. I mean, Greg Dyke mentioned it in his plan about having academies and having players coming through and playing for the first team in the Premiership. But this afternoon in this reserve team game, out of those 27 teams in the youth side, 3 players in the second team came through the youth academy. And that is fantastic for a club like this, and that's what the longevity and the legacy of this club will be.
Do you think that clubs in the Amateur League and the SAL, in the Amateur Football Alliance and the SAL, will have a better chance of survival if they were to set up a similar sort of academy system, or is it just kind of, it depends on the club?
A lot of it depends on the club, obviously, because, as I say, it's run by volunteers. So you've got to get the right people who want to do the right thing. And so often in youth setups, you'll get the parent whose son or daughter is playing in the youth, but once their son or daughter goes through that, they drop out. And that's unfortunate, because then you lose that level of expertise. What you need is that commitment with that expertise that will carry on. And this is what this club has got. We've got people that were involved, started this 10, 12 years ago.
What are the goals and aims for Alexandra Park FC for the future? Is it another 114 years, or what are the goals and aims for the side, for the club?
For the club, I think it's this whole thing about getting the youth section fully integrated into the club, so that actually is happening. At the moment, because of the restrictions we've got on pitches, we can't get all the teams playing at the racecourse ground. So the next stage of development is to try and raise funds to get an AstroTurf down here, so we can get more youth teams playing actually at the racecourse ground. So it's building that link with the youth sector to get them fully integrated into the club.
In terms of the club, how strong are the links with the community? Because obviously you've got quite a lot of teams. You've got obviously the 27 youth teams as well. How strong are the links between Alexandra Park FC and the local community, and how important is it to have good links between the community and the club?
Well, vitally important, because again, it relies on parents coming down here, helping out, organising for events and that sort of stuff. So it's vitally important. And when we looked at I was talking to the president of the youth section. He was telling me earlier this afternoon that when they looked at their membership, it was the 3 postal districts were those immediately adjoining this area. That sort of 90% of the kids were coming from that area, which is in fact tremendous. And we've also got, don't forget, we're very close to Tottenham Hotspur, who run a very good community scheme, and to Arsenal, and we have links with both of those. So we keep in touch with them. So there are links. It's not sort of like a dividing line. Have you had quite a few players go from here to those 2 clubs, or is it more kind of they're feeding in youngsters and you're helping develop the youngsters? It's not about trying to get kids into that. If they're good enough, they'll get picked up. But it's making sure that we're not duplicating, that we're getting good coaching and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. You know, Ray, I wish you luck.
Thank you very
for the
much,
future.
Liam.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for coming down this afternoon.
Nice one. Thank you for having us.